Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode. I have an employee from DHS, or the Department of Homeland Security. Thank you for being with here with us today. Could you please start by stating your name, your position, and I then we'll get into our questions.
My name is Will. I work for the Department of Homeland Security, protecting your country, making sure we don't got no terrorists and that kind of stuff.
Alrighty, now my first question I would have for you is what is the DHS's primary strategy for protecting the country from any threats such as domestic terrorism?
The DHS's current primary strategy for preventing domestic terrorism and targeted violence is multi-pronged approach centered on the public, informed approach, which focuses on early intervention and resilience rather than solely law enforcement.
All right. So how is the DHS using its various components to strategically take care of these matters?
The Department of Homeland Security coordinates its components through a collaborative framework that involves information sharing, strategic alignment, and integrated operations with federal, state, local, and tribal partners. This unified approach is achieved by establishing a common mission, fostering communication channels, and coordinating efforts across agencies like the Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA.
All right, and now here's a big question for you. What does the department have in place to ensure the economic safety of the United States while they're doing all of their programs with this department?
Um, DHS employs several measures to prevent negative economic impacts, such as enforcing trade laws, securing supply chains to ensure the safety and consistency of goods entering the U.S.
All right. So how does the DHS plan to protect critical U.S. infrastructure from increasing cyber attacks?
The Department of Homeland Security, primarily through the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, prioritizes and addresses cyber attacks on the U.S. critical infrastructure and election systems by employing a national risk management approach, providing voluntary secretary services, fostering public-private partnerships, and focusing on immediate threat response and future resilience.
All right. Now, in your personal professional opinion, what do you believe is the most at risk for a cyber attack? Where do you believe the U.S.'s most critical piece of infrastructure is?
I'm not understanding.
I'm asking for in your personal opinion, what would, in your eyes, be the most at risk for a cyber attack?
Probably social medias like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, that stupid stuff.
So you think we're at more of a risk of an attack from social media per se versus someone laying an attack on the power grid?
I mean, social media influences most of it, but the worst thing that could happen is they hack the White House or the Pentagon. That kind of stuff is important to us.
All right. Moving on to my next question. What specific policies does the DHS have in place to ensure everyone's civil rights?
The DHS protects civil rights and liberties through specific policies and procedures, including the Office of Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, which investigates complaints and advises on policy. The department has a complaint system for alleged violations, ensures prominent advertising of a 24-hour complaint department in detention facilities, and prohibits harassment based on protected characteristics.
All right, that sounds like it's all nice and good. So, how many complaints do you believe get taken care of?
We try to take care of all the complaints we get.
All right, that's obviously a lot to sift through given how big the department is and how widely it stretches. My next question is how does the DHS evaluate and measure all of the effectiveness of its borders and security operations?
The The DHS evaluates border security effectiveness using various metrics, including apprehensions, the interdict effectiveness rate, apprehensions and turnbacks divided by total known and estimated unauthorized entries, and the recidivism rate, percentage of repeat apprehensions.
All right. So during your time, have there been any like challenges that you've faced or that people at the DHS have faced, and how have you guys like come to work a way around solving such?
We face some significant challenges, like in creating fair and orderly humane immigration system, including managing large backlogs, balancing border security with asylum rights, coordinating efforts across different agencies. It's a tricky line of work, but we usually handle it fairly well. We've had a few incidences that didn't work out too good, but yeah.
Alrighty, so how does the DHS work with all different forms of government in helping with like natural disasters when they occur in such areas?
The Department of Homeland Security collaborates with state, local, tribal, and territorial governments through grant programs, training and planning, and with private industry via standards, partnerships, information sharing to prepare for and respond to disasters.
Alright, and I got a really pending question, not just for me, but I feel like anyone else watching. What measures does the DHS have in place to ensure like there being no spies, there's no insiders like inside any of their agencies? I mean, given earlier you were listing how many departments there actually are outside of DHS. So what's in place there?
Government departments are addressing insider threats by establishing dedicated programs that use a combination of technical and human elements to detect, deter, and mitigate risks.
All right, and then while I still have you, I understand you're very busy and have to get back to your operations. How does the DHS pursue transparency in their spending of our taxpayer dollars?
The Department of Homeland Security ensures transparency and accountability through various mechanisms, including making data publicly available on contracts in progress, independent oversight by the Office of Inspector General, and implementing specific guidance on acquisition processes. Initiatives like radical transparency about wasteful spending, memorandum mandate, the public release of information on terminated program and contracts.
Alrighty. That is all for our episode. Thank you all. Make sure that you follow and leave any comments on who we should bring on next. Alright, see you guys next week for another amazing episode. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Until next time.